Welcome back to another episode. We finally had a pretty red day in the overall tech market, especially in the semiconductor space. So in today's episode, I want to take a closer look at obviously NVIDIA. We do got some pretty interesting supercomputer that just got announced that I think investors should know. And we're also going to take a closer look at other semiconductor companies that investors should be familiar with. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
Now, starting with NVIDIA, the first type of topic that I wanted to take a closer look at is HPE, which is a provider of AI servers, did announce today on July 11th that they are building a new supercomputer by NVIDIA, powered by NVIDIA, for one of Japan's largest research institution. And that is going to be the AIST, which is National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology. Now, this new supercomputer is going to be powered by NVIDIA's H200 Tensor Core GPUs and using NVIDIA's Quantum 2 infinite band networking. So overall, I mean, this isn't the biggest bullish news for NVIDIA, but it just continues. If you've been watching all my previous episodes, it just continues to solidify that evidence that, hey, look, NVIDIA seems to it's going to have a very strong quarter because we continue to see these strong demands for their AI solutions, not just the future Blackwell, but even the H200 and still the H100. So this is kind of another evidence that goes on file that showcases this overall strength. Now, HPE is definitely one that has kind of gotten that bullish trend a little bit with the AI market. So HPE, you can think about it like your Dell Technologies, maybe like a Supermicro. In the past year to date, the stock is up roughly 25%. Probably most of that excitement is coming from AI servers. So definitely HPE, if you're looking for a company that's looking to benefit from the AI servers, I think this one's trading at one of the cheapest PE ratios compared to some of the other players. I'm personally not investing in AI server manufacturers like HPE, like Dell, or Supermicro at the moment, but I just wanted to bring it up just in case anybody wanted to do more research on them. Now, before I go any further, guys, I do want to show my recent project, and I'm creating this ebook where it's like a semiconductor handbook, and it has over 50 companies for this 2024 version. I think it's closer to 60, 65, maybe even closer to 70 public semiconductor companies. And right now, I am offering 33% off for this book before it gets released in the next few days. So I will have the link below on my description, but check out more with 2 O's, semiinvesting.com to kind of get it. It's $30, but with 33% off, it'll go down to $20. And here for each company, I have like a detailed operational summary so you understand what they do. And I have over 12 questions for each company so you can enhance your understanding of that company. And you're going to see some that you might have never heard about, some small caps, some large caps. So just check out the website, and the link is down below. So hope you guys enjoy it. It should be coming out in the next few days, but definitely appreciate the support from every one of you. Now, sticking here with kind of NVIDIA and the AI market, there are reports that Samsung is developing a custom HBM with tech giants with commercialization expected in HBM4. So for those that are not familiar, HBM, which is high bandwidth memory, is a type of memory that is used in AI solutions. And one thing that we're seeing right now is we're currently in HBM3E, and that's what's being used in a lot of the new AI accelerators. In the future, we're expected to go into HBM4, but what many are discussing right now is that some of these memory companies are actually going to be working with customers to make kind of a customizable HBM. So that's going to be pretty interesting in my opinion, because if you are doing that, you most likely tend to have higher margins. And if you have great partnerships, maybe your future AI accelerators can be way better than your competitors if you're using a custom solution that goes really well with your AI accelerator. And this actually goes really well with my next point, as there are reports that TSMC, NVIDIA, and SK Hynix are kind of forming this allegiance to develop next generation HBM. So many talks are saying that, hey, look, this is for HBM4, but now based on the previous report, maybe SK Hynix is working with NVIDIA to develop some custom HBM. And the reason TSMC TSM is kind of part of this partnership is because previously SK Hynix kind of produces HBM3E using its own process for manufacturing. But in the future, they'll switch off to TSMC for advanced logic process for HBM4, and who knows, maybe for customizable HBM solutions as well. And we know TSMC is a monster when it comes to manufacturing skills. Now, kind of going back into the semiconductor market, AMD was down roughly 1% today. And while most of the other semiconductor companies were down 3-4%, I do believe one of the big things for AMD is we did see some bullish analysts or some bullish sentiment from analysts after the acquisition of the AI company we discussed yesterday. So we saw the following players. We saw Wells Fargo did increase their price target to 205 from 190, and we saw Roth MKM increase their price target to 200 from 180. And both these players are mainly due to AMD increasing its AI software solutions and the improvements of their AI software platform. So they're overall bullish on the stock. The stock is sitting at $181, so a nice 10% growth still based on those analysts. Now, continuing here with AMD, there are reports that AMD plans to use glass substrates in its 2025-2026 lineup of high-performance processor. And for those that are not familiar, this kind of glass substrate is a way to kind of connect and put together all these chips. Glass substrates tend to have a strength that they don't tend to bend. If you put too many chips in the current type of substrate, you start to see some bending, which is obviously bad and limits the amount of chips that you can put and stack together. So it seems like AMD is moving into the future of glass substrate. Now, what I found pretty interesting is this can actually go really well with Intel. Like I mentioned, one of the reasons to be bullish in Intel is their manufacturing push and their advanced packaging push. And while a lot of companies like TSMC are already working on glass substrate, Intel in late 2023 mentions how they are one of the industry leaders in glass substrate. So it could be in the future where we see AMD use Intel's advanced packaging solutions to make their own chips. So something cool to correlate there and to see that Intel is definitely working in a market that there is growth opportunities in the future. Now, continuing into the semiconductor market, there are reports that the global chip equipment, so the equipment needed to manufacture chips, is expected to grow in 2024 by roughly 3.4% and is going to be a record that it hit in 2022. And then 2025 is actually expected to grow even more and break the record that's going to be set this year and expected to grow roughly 17%. So obviously, if you are in the companies that have semiconductor equipment, this is very, very bullish news. You guys know me, I tend to invest in growth companies. So while you might think of your typical companies like ASML, Applied Materials, Lam Research, I personally believe that the semiconductor equipment companies that have less than $10 billion in market cap are probably going to be the bigger winners here. So definitely something that investors should be familiar with. The final thing I want to take a closer look at is ON Semiconductor. So ON Semiconductor is a semiconductor company that provides solutions for the automotive market. See, this is where that ebook, it would be amazing, right? Because you'll learn all about these companies. So year to date, this is one of the few semiconductor stocks that is down on a year to date basis, but that's because most of their solutions are in the vehicle market, especially the EV market, which we know is in a current downtrend. Well, today we did see Morgan Stanley downgrade ON Semiconductor to a price target of $65 from $70, mainly because of the bearish sentiment still in the EV vehicle space or in the vehicle space in general. I think right now for ON Semiconductor is more of the accumulation phase, especially if it drops to those 60 levels, high mid 60s, because while this is kind of maybe a quiet stage in the EV market, I believe the future is going to be EV and the electrification of things as well, where ON Semiconductor can definitely benefit. So in the long term, bullish for ON Semiconductor. In the short term, very bearish. And for that reason, I think now is the accumulation phase if you have a long long-term mentality. Like I mentioned, if you want to check out the ebook, make sure to go to the website. The link is down below, but it is moresemiinvesting.com. And like I mentioned, it's a handbook with over 50 plus companies. I believe, like I mentioned, it's closer to 65 companies that I'm going to have, and it's going to be released in the upcoming days. But right now, I do have an appreciation offer of 33% off. So take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.